3 more victories gave the Heat an 8-4 record as they traveled to Memphis and faced a tight game that came to a screeching halt when co-captain Udonis Haslem went down with an injury that would end his regular season.
Udonis Haslem is holding his left foot, and he is not right now.
This does not look good.
No.
That's a warrior right there.
Oh, man.
This was a guy that they were counting on to give them rebounding, give them energy. So it really was a very difficult injury for this team.
The Heat lost Haslem and lost the game.
Rudy for the win! Yes! 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 Yes!
2 nights later, back in Miami, the Heat struggled against the Indiana Pacers, shooting only 38% from the field and suffering back-to-back losses, totaling 6 for the season.
Out of the wing, the long shot, in and out. Another miss by the Heat.
It gets no better in the NBA than the Magic and the Miami Heat.
The Heat would try to avoid their first 3-game losing streak of the season while visiting Orlando.
Nelson right down the middle. Pretty pass. Power with the flush.
The Magic were too much that night for the Heat.
Redick 15-footer.
What's happened to the Dream Team? They've been ice cold.
None of us had any idea how difficult it would be to mesh the different talents.
The Heat were able to snap their losing streak against the Sixers and were on to face Dallas. Chris Bosh had an efficient first half, scoring 14 points in the early stages of his return to his hometown.
Bosh open from the elbow. Kaboom.
The second half was a very different story for the Heat. Their miscues led to 13 consecutive Maverick points, and the Mavs never looked back.
7 on the shot clock. Caron Butler. He got a step on LeBron James and sticks a dagger into the Heat's heart.
The Heat would lose to the Mavericks by 11 for their 4th loss in 5 games. Their record would fall to 9-8, and more controversy would follow.
All the detractors with something else to point to, and they're calling it the bump. Right after a timeout, you see LeBron kind of looking straight ahead and bumping right into Spoelstra, doesn't turn around, kind of bumps into him. People wondering if that was intentional. Again, every little move this team makes is dissected closely. That's why this has turned into a controversy.
Really nothing, honestly. Incidental contact, I guess. But it was nothing. I mean, it wasn't intentional or anything.
I didn't even notice until people mentioned it after the game. So it's probably a perfect case of over-speculation.
That night in Dallas, after the loss, a players-only meeting was held to candidly discuss a new direction.
It was a disconnect in our team. You know, you could sit on the floor, and it wasn't that guys didn't like each other. You know, guys didn't know each other.
We just need to figure out, the best way, what our game is going to be, what's our MO going to be.
We needed to come in the locker room and have a conversation about what the problem was and how to make sure that we fix the problem for this won't continue to be a chain effect.
Back in Miami, in what would be a turning point of the season, it was as if they had grown into more than just a team. It was a band of brothers.
The Heat home tonight against Washington.
They hope to put an end to their recent struggles at home against the Wizards.
The Heat have been a team in turmoil after that sluggish start, but tonight they weren't fighting amongst themselves. They were fighting their opponent.
LeBron angling right, past Alonzo G. Hammer time.
You saw the Heat grabbing the ball and going the other way.
Here comes Miami 3-on-1. Wade for LeBron.
This was the month that everything just really seemed to come together.
Cross court, open 3 for Rio. Kaboom. Tonight they win it at home. Congratulations to Erik Spoelstra, his 100th victory as Miami's head coach.
The next challenge the Heat faced was LeBron's epic return to Cleveland.
And it's a special game for our brother, and we're going to try to, of course, win that ball game.
Obviously, emotions will be running high on both sides. We'll be going into a tough arena.
LeBron James and the Miami Heat at Quicken Loans Arena on a night unlike any other.
At forward, 6'8" from St. Vincent St. Mary High School, number 6, LeBron James.
It was a more hostile environment than any regular season game in recent NBA memory. LeBron goes out there and just gives a command performance.
Here's James on the move, past Williams, it counts on the foul.
That was one of the games that really got the Heat going, where you really saw the cohesiveness of this team.
Kicking it over to James, yes, and the foul.
We knew that this guy right here is very mature. It seemed like he always rises to the occasions when things look at his darkest for him.
LeBron exploded for 38 points while only playing 3 quarters on way to one of the Heat's signature wins of the season.
For us to come in and have that bunker mentality that we had tonight and just focus on the game, to take care of business like we did was great.
What I saw was a group of people playing for their brothers, okay? But also at the same time playing, competing as brothers.
There's going to always be something said about us. Win, lose, or draw. But as a family, we can't let anyone from the outside, break us apart. I don't have any hurt feelings about this game at all from these fans. Wish them the best.
The win in Cleveland charged the Heat to rack up 7 more victories, extending the win streak to 10 straight games.
Dwayne Wade, here he comes with LeBron. Oh my! Wade for Chalmers from the wing. Missed it. Wade with an exclamation point on a one-handed stuff. LeBron against the long-armed Ariza. In trouble. Oh my!
But behind the backboard.
I think for the first time they were who they thought they were all along.
Off to the Gotham City to play in the world's most famous arena in search of the 11th consecutive victory.
We're striving for perfection right now in New York. They're playing as at a highest level, as anybody in the league. So we understand it'll be a very challenging game.
It's the Heat and Knicks like it used to be and like it's never been.
Right now, with both teams playing well, the fans are going to make it a very big game. So I think this would be probably one of the biggest games, of the year.
They were not going to lose to that team that night. There was no way they were going to let New York have the upper hand.
This is Bosh on the move. A gorgeous reverse jam. He left Stoudemire in the dust. LeBron from downtown. Got it. LeBron James rising to the Big Apple Challenge.
LeBron delivered yet another impressive performance, scoring 32 points and finishing with his 30th career triple-double as the Heat picked up their 11th consecutive victory. On the second night of a back-to-back, as well as the 6th game in 9 nights, the Heat were clearly fatigued, which contributed to 17 turnovers and seemingly the end of the win streak.
Another careless turnover for Miami as Flash with a throwdown.
The Heat trailed the Wizards for most of the second half, but the band of brothers never lost hope.
Here he comes!
Down by 5 with just over 30 seconds remaining, Coach Spoelstra called on number 1 for this one.
Bosh for 3. Oh boy! And Miami down by only 2.
After free throws from both sides, the Wizards remained in front, and the Heat would rely on free throw shooting to steal the game back. First, it was James Jones.
Oh, Mr. Cool, James Jones has even the game at 93.
Then Wade.
Wade for the win. He'll go to the free throw line with 7.9 seconds to go.
With the clock running down, he hit both free throws, giving the Heat a 1-point lead.
Miami's up 1. Heinrich and the Wizards hurry it up. Heinrich all the way in. No good. Wade with a rebound. Ball game's over.
Oh, my.
Ball game's over. The win streak lives another night. 12 in a row for Miami.
How about those turn of events? The Heat down late in the game, making free throws, making steals.
One of the wildest games I've ever been a part of. Never gave up, kept executing down to the very last second.
Coming off the most successful stretch of the season, the Heat would take on Dallas at home, looking for their 13th straight W.
Wade gets the Anthony screen, drives in, and scores!
The Heat were rolling in the first half, so with under 4 minutes to play, Mike Miller, healed from injury, took the floor for the first time.
Mike Miller in the game for the first time as a member of the Miami Heat.
Standing ovation.
That was awesome. For me, a lot of things I've done, one of the best things that's ever happened to me, because here is a guy who's never done anything for this organization, and the excitement they showed when I checked in still gives me goosebumps.
The Heat started the third quarter on a 13-0 run and had a 5-point lead to start the fourth.
Bosh with a flip, it bounces in, and the foul. Chris Bosh to the rescue.
But Dallas took the lead halfway through the fourth quarter and never relinquished, snapping the win streak.
And Jason Terry strikes from downtown.
Bottom line is they made bigger plays down the stretch more consistently than we did.